loves. Hi YouTube. Welcome back to Piano Plane with me, Pretty. If you like content on travel, like this video, subscribe to the channel so we grow. Welcome back, welcome back. Today I am speaking, following the previous very controversial video, today I'm speaking about why the Big Apple is loved, why I love the Big Apple. I'm talking about New York, so let's get right into it. Okay, if you've watched my previous video, if you haven't, go watch it now. But if you've watched my previous video, I told you guys why I don't like New York, the things I do not like about New York. Well, today I'm speaking about the things I do like about New York. There's a reason why the Big Apple is loved world over. People go from all over the world to visit New York to go see the Statue of Liberty, to go up the Empire State Building, to go to Times Square. People go on New Year's Eve to go stand and watch the ball drop, which I wouldn't do. But yeah, people love New York, and there's reasons for it, right? Today I'm sharing my reasons, and yeah, let me get into my reasons why I love New York. Reason numero uno. So the first reason why I love New York is though accommodation is very expensive in New York, there's alternatives, and there's a lot of alternatives. I've done a video about traveling, and I spoke about hostels in one of my earlier videos. Go look for it and check it out. But in my earlier videos, I spoke about hostels, and one of them that I spoke about was Hosteling International in New York City. So there's a really good hostels. They're affordable on New York standards, you know, in comparison to the hotels, but they're really good. Their rooms are good. The excursions are always really awesome. So I've stayed at High New York twice and I really love it. It's in Manhattan, and I really love it. I would definitely stay there again anytime I go back to New York. So yeah, Jazz on the Park is also another really great one. So that the hostels in New York are really awesome. So if you're gonna go to New York, I would definitely advocate for staying in a hostel over there. The second thing I love about New York is that there's something for everyone. New York is so big, and there's a melting pot of people from all over the world, is a mishmash of things. It's where things happen, and because of that, there's so many things to do. There's things for everyone. You know, if you like the nightlife, there's things for you. If you like the arts, there's things for you. If you like nature, there's things for you. Yes, believe it or not, Central Park is a whole day excursion, and there's a lot of history also. So New York is literally everything for everyone. I mean, I went to a Harry Potter exhibit when I was in New York, and that was really fun, right? Because who would have expected a Harry Potter exhibit in New York? But hey, I went to one, and it was really lots of fun. So New York, it really has everything for everyone. So there's not a certain type of person that goes to New York, but I think it can accommodate everybody's interests pretty much. And talking about the art scene, you can literally spend a day going from the museums to the art galleries in New York. You can go to the Guggenheim Museum, go to the Museum of Modern Art. You can go to the Museum of Science, which I absolutely love. I am a geek. I am a nerd. Acknowledge it, love it, own it. But I went there and I loved it. And there's just so much in that art and science scene that you can go and explore. And I spoke about Central Park, full day of fun, full day of exploring. So that's always also really fun, just to spend a full day there, which is really not an expensive excursion. And you know, we always see Christmas, especially those of us who live in the Southern Hemisphere, where Christmas is probably the hottest time in the year. Going to New York and experiencing Christmas in New York is magical. It is absolutely magical. New York at Christmas turns into that movie scene where you're just seeing Christmas trees everywhere. It is snowing, it's white, there's people skiing, and there's markets everywhere, Christmas markets, there's light shows in the streets, there's Christmas carols. It's really gorgeous. If you are like me and you really just love Christmas and you love the whole spirit around the holiday, New York at Christmas is amazing. Just be prepared for how cold it is. It is freezing, but totally worth the freezing because it is lots of fun. It's just magical and really makes the inner child in you the happiest. It just gives you all warmth and fuzzy feelings. But yeah, New York at Christmas, absolutely magical. So I love that. When I made the video about food, I got into cheap eats in New York and I spoke about Gray's papaya. But like there's little pockets of okay, so if you eat at Times Square or in and around Times Square, you're gonna spend ridiculous amounts of money for no reason. Well, unless you want to do like the high-end, posh places. There's also that, but there's really cheap eats, good cheap eats throughout New York City. And that's something I really love because I like, exploring the cheap eats because I find that most of the time that's the best food, what the locals eat. There's like $1 pizza, there's like $5 hot dogs. There's good cheap eats throughout the city, so that's something that's really nice because then if everything else and your flights and accommodation are expensive, at least your food is covered without being too expensive. And while I'm on food, I have yet to have bagels from anywhere else in the world that are as good as New York. So do yourself a favor and find bagels and cream cheese when you're in New York City. You'll thank me for that. Something I absolutely enjoy about New York. Yes, I spoke about how dirty the subway is, but in as much as I can diss it for being dirty, it's convenient. It is the most convenient mode of transport. And obviously the reason why it's so dirty is because it carries so many people and dust and just how convenient it is. But getting from A to B, figuring out the subway and figuring out how it works, it's affordable, it's convenient. So yeah, the subway that just connects the entire city is really gorgeous because you can literally explore the entire New York on subway. I think that's something that you really learn to appreciate when you're in New York and when you travel to different parts of the world where transportation is not the easiest to navigate or the easiest to get around on. So yeah, I really like the New York subway because of that. Filthy, stinky, gets you there though. But yeah, I like the New York subway. The connection of it is great. It's one of the best things that America has brought us. And lastly, because New York is hustling, bustling, melting pot of people, it is easy to meet and make friends. My first thing I spoke about was staying in a hostel, but you get to meet people from all over the world and make friends. Some of my lasting friends that I still have are people that I met in New York City. And because of that, it's really you'll never get to New York and feel like I don't fit in or I don't belong, because when you're walking the streets, you see high fashion all over the place. You see people who are wearing, like very arty, farty type of things. You see people who really couldn't be bothered, and nobody makes you feel like you don't belong in New York because nobody really fits in. Everybody is a piece of a puzzle that is unique but fits into the bigger puzzle that is New York City. And that is the one thing I really love about it. The way it is absolutely cosmopolitan in every sense. And yeah, that brings me to the end of the video. I really like New York. It's, I think, one of the holiday destinations that somebody must do at least once in their life, even if they do it just to say I've done it. Even if you just go, just to satisfy your curiosity about it, I say save up that money, plan it, budget for it, find the accommodation, stay at High New York or Jazz on the Park, but go to New York and go experience the magic yourself. And yeah, New York is really awesome. And just like every city in the world and every country, it has its downside, which I've mentioned, but it has its upside, which are really awesome. So yeah, definitely go to New York. Let's get traveling, people. The world is open. The world is open. Thank you once again for tuning into Pretty on a Plane. If you like content like this, share this with your friends, with your family, and subscribe so we can grow the family. Thank you for tuning into Pretty on a Plane. Love it.